Okay, so we're back. We are now in the real Beacon Pines, and we're now out to get sort of revenge by finding what the source is the perennial harvest is trying to protect, or maybe even use. So nothing else has changed. We really haven't moved at all. It's just as soon as the objective came up, is that this came up. So, and this should be Kerr that's talking, I think. It can get awfully cold out there in those woods, Luca. Probably best you two stay put and conserve your energy. Help's on the way. Where's Rollo? Where's my mom? Did you kill her? Oh, heavens, no! Do I seem like a killer to you?
Iggy and Luca shared a skeptical look.
Well, do I? Aw, shucks. Now that hurts my feelings. Screw that guy. Yep. I say so too. I say so too, Luca. Alright. Luca and Iggy, partners by happenstance. Possibly not becoming as much of enemies to each other? Wait a minute! If this is the original town, then that means...
Iggy darted behind a large pine and began digging furiously. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull painted on its lid.
What's that? Long story. So, a few years back, I, came into possession of some premium-grade fireworks. Not the wimpy firecracker stuff they give kids. The good stuff. So why did you bury it under a tree? That's the long part of the story. You and Rollo were doing chores at Rollo's chicken coop, and you guys pissed me off for some reason or another.
Luca rolled his eyes with realization.
No, you didn't. The flaming chicken coop.
Iggy stifled a chuckle.
Yep. I just wanted to give you guys a little scare. But like I said, it was some primo fireworks. So I might have underestimated some things. You blew up the chicken coop? I prefer to think of it as an incendiary redecoration. Sorry, but you should have seen the looks on your faces. Rollo got grounded for months, which is why I needed to stash the evidence and lay low. So I buried him under that tree. When I came back for him later, they were gone. I figured some grown-up found him and tossed him.
Iggy triumphantly raised the shoebox.
Turns out, it wasn't the fireworks that got moved. It was us. Unbelievable. Well, I mean, you got something to fight back with, I guess. Do you think this is a game? Newsflash, boyo. You're not a hero. You're a little brat who is in way over his head. A hero is just someone who refuses to give up. Comics these days are rotting children's brains. No, not quite right, Kurt. That is called TikTok. Everyone thinks they're a spaceman superhero. I was always partial to Hank Atomic myself. Is that so? Do you really think you have a chance against us? You have no idea how powerful we are. Prepare for blast-off, loser. Good for you, Luca, not getting swayed. Here we are. So there's still the tire tracks. Hello. Big hole in the center of town where the fountain used to be. That's wonderful. Crooked. Just like this whole stinking place. Crooked. Haha, new charm. So you can't get anywhere else? No, the way out to Fratelli's Diner is off. Can we get around? Anything else? Maybe I'll go up the stairs to the coffee shop? Nope. I'll go down to the other part of town? I mean, this is obviously probably what they're talking about. Because as we learned in an earlier episode, is that Gran had a map that was marked off that was basically the center of town, the fountain here. But is that Gran was nowhere to be found, in a previous offshoot. This here is likely the source then, but a big hole with wind?
Luca and Iggy inched up to the edge of the hole with bewilderment in their eyes. Arctic air breathed out of the cavern in heaving gusts.
Echo! 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 Whoa! I can see why they wanted to move us all out of town now. But why would they dig a giant hole? I think this is it. This is the source? It's a dang hole? How do we smash a hole? Well, gotta come up with just a plan right now. Oh, it's much more than that, my annoying little friend. Kerr! Where's Rollo? I wasn't lying before. He's safe. Well, safer than you two, at least. Drat, it's cold. You just had to drag me all the way out here, didn't you?
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in contemplation.
It really is something, isn't it? What did you do to our town? What is all of this? Well, that's a doozy of a question. This is the source, where they collect the unrefined,
Kerr scratched the back of his head.
Honestly, boys, I don't understand any of this well enough to explain it. Fact of the matter is, I'm not paid to know. What do you mean you don't know? Ain't you in charge? Oh, heavens no! My role is merely to flash a winning smile and manage various complications. Complications like us? You are a smart boy.
His face contorted into a saccharine grin.
It really is nothing personal. Some people are destined to strive for greatness, and others are simply obstacles along the way. Seems like you were destined to be a creepy lackey. The point is that we all play our part in life. Mine just happened to be a lead in a role of a lifetime. And you happen to be extras, ready for your curtain call. We aren't giving up without a fight. Your smile's not going to be so winning after we're done with you. Now, boys, there's no need for melodrama. It makes even a professional such as myself embarrassed for you. Let's change the mood a bit.
Kerr snapped his fingers.
Scene change! There, that's better. Deal with them.
Iggy turned to Luca with a sly glance.
Why are you smirking? Because I have a box full of fireworks and you don't.
Iggy waved the box into the air, threatening to drop it down the hole.
Stop! Let's not do something regrettable. Joke's on you. Regret is one of my specialties. Out of curiosity, what would happen if I threw these in your precious hole? Nothing. Nothing at all. You're a terrible liar. I'll have you know, I am an exceptional liar. Bop, bop, bop. That's far enough.
Iggy plucked a single bottle rocket from the box and held it up with reverence.
Stop, you fool! Call off your goons.
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr flung up his hand with frustration.
Very well. You can all head back for the night. It's been a long day. I'll handle these two from here.
Mr. Kerr sighed into the frigid air.
It's just us now, Iggy. You can put that down. What? Like this?
With a nonchalant flick, Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
Ooh. Whoa.
With a growl, Kerr leapt Iggy, crashing through Luca. Iggy tried to
Oh my
push
gosh!
away.
What?
In the struggle, they both tumbled over the side.
Okay, not good.
Luca dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before it slipped.
Oh gosh!
His grip was made precarious by the cold, wet snow. He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat.
You reckless child! What have you done? Luca, listen to me. Hold on tight and use the walkie-talkie to call them back. How? What channel do I use? It doesn't make a damn difference. They're always listening. If you do that, the clipboards will just haul us up and snag us both. The only way you get out of this is if Kerr's out of the picture. Just let go and save yourself. If he lets go, we both die. I don't want to die, but seeing the look on your face almost makes it worth it. Mr. Kerr, you've had a long life. Why don't you actually do something selfless and just let go?
Mr. Kerr gasped with insult.
Long life? I'll have you know I can still play 25. You should have heard me sing the part of Phyllis Young.
With a wild look in his eyes, Mr. Kerr began to hum a proud melody.
Wow, can you believe this guy? Hum.
Luca's hand began to cramp. His voice began to crack.
Kerr, just let go. No can do. If you want to save your friend, you'll have to save me too. Luca, look at me. It's okay.
Luca felt Iggy loosen his grasp.
You aren't going to kill your friend like that, are you?
Every muscle in Luca's body burned.
I'm not his friend. Yes, you are. Nah, I'm just a no-good bully. Like you, Kerr. Iggy, no.
Luca felt his hand slipping.
And I told you what you need to do with bullies. I can't. It's your only way out of this mess. 2 birds with 1 stone. It makes sense for us to fall together. Wackadoos travel in packs.
A calm settled over Iggy's face.
Luca, let me do this.
Iggy's voice was colder than the bitter air billowing from the chasm.
Let me do the right thing for once. Luca had no choice but to blank Iggy's request. To refuse or accept. Oh God. This is not a good situation. This... I don't know. Me, myself, in this sort of situation is that I would do everything I can still to try to save them. There has to be another way. I mean, if Iggy can get the coat off, Kerr will fall, because he's grabbing onto the coat. If he can just slip it off. But we're only given 2 options here. Oh no. We'll have a chance to see both of them at least at some point. I'm sorry, Iggy.
Luca had no choice but to accept Iggy's request. With a quiet blink, Luca watched a teardrop sail down into the howling void. As his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Good.
The 2 silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
Gee. Hell of a goodbye, Iggy. Luca, you should really step back. What? Quickly. Curious. But of course, those fireworks of Vicky's must have been just the right amount of energy. We should get out of here before perennial harvest arrives. Not until you tell me what just happened. Your friend's sacrifice just saved this town. For a little while, anyway. How? Tempus liquamine is a peculiar substance. It can change the relationship between matter and time itself, but doing so requires unfathomable energy. In a closed system, that energy can only come from its surroundings. A useful side product of this property being, by adding precisely the correct amount of energy to it, one can create a cryogenic cascade. So, the gunk makes things cold, and the fireworks made the whole freeze over? That's one way of putting it, yes. As dumb luck would have it, the fireworks weren't strong enough to generate a runaway reaction. I shudder to think what would have happened in that case.
We have some idea what that would look like.
Yeah, we do. It will take them a good while to safely break through and access the source again. If you know all this stuff, why haven't you been helping? I have been, in my own way. Each one of us has our role to play. Iggy's role, it turns out, was to buy us precious time. Mine has been to observe and wait. Wait for what? You. Me? Why? What's my role?
A fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Luca Van Horn, you are going to save the world.
With a chuckle, Nat turned and walked west.
Yeah, that's quite a responsibility to put on the shoulders of a 12-year-old. Then again, there's already a history of JRPGs that does that very same thing.
Dumbfounded, Luca followed behind him, trudging through the snow. Every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny. To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder.
Wait, what? What?
Revenge served cold.
Huh?
Second time's a charm?
What?
Wait, that's it? This ends with crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy. No way.
No way.
I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels.
Thank you.
Let's go back and find something more definitive.
So it's a whole thing. Let's see. Well, I guess we're going to be able to get to see the other option, right? Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request.
Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request.
Which is probably going to end very
Tightened his
quickly.
grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out. We need help. Mr. Kerr is in danger. It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away. A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The last thing he saw before a cloth bag was pulled over his head was the defeated look on Iggy's face. The end.
Yep, I figured that probably wasn't going to go too much further.
I think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
Which we already did. Okay, so then this branch has fully ended then, so, because it ends in a sequel, which is not going to happen, which is probably not going to happen. So that means we must go back to the only other path available to us. The two options in the interrogation either be sly or chill. see, just double check. Nothing else? Yep, no other turning points right now. Okay. They'd run the classic good cop, blank cop interrogation. We had chill before. Let's see what that would have brought us.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
I'll handle this. Just gotta play it cool.
Luca walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times. Mr. Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
Golly, I sure got my bell rung.
He looked over to find Luca, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. This was all a big mistake. Luca? Oh, what's going on here? Why do you have me strapped down? No one's fault, really. Rollo just got a little startled. Rollo's here?
Rollo and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Well, alright. Mistakes happen. You kids gave old Hiram a good scare. Let's just get me out of these ropes and call it even.
Luca glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's my gran up to? If you'll just cut me loose, I can show you. How do I know we can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luca, have I ever done wrong by you? No? And since your gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah? So why would I turn my back on your family now? It's just... all this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town, an archive of my dad's old disturbing patient notes.
Luca gestured to the corner.
Barrels of explosives? I can explain everything. You just need to untie me. Your kids deserve an explanation.
Luca looked again to Rollo and Beck. This time they shrugged. Luca began to slowly loosen the bindings. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad. So all makes sense in time.
He edged imperceptibly toward the stairs as he spoke.
Yeah, he's gotta make a break for it. You see, this town has secrets, Luca. A very dark past indeed.
Before the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A past that must be brought
He
to...
punctuated his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
Light! Son of a...
Beck darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tight down there. And let the adults handle this.
They looked bewildered at each other.
Play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation. This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luca opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end.
And they just stay locked down there? They just stay locked down and starve off the jam.
A grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement.
Well, no, certainly. You know, they might survive for a bit on jam, but not very well.
Back to the drawing board.
Yep. So, of course, not being chill. We'll just have to be sly this time.
They'd run the classic good cop,
Sly cop.
interrogation. and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task. With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
Oh, what? Oh, what's going on here? You're that Moodwill girl. Please, call me back. Sorry about all this.
Mr. Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
It seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was going to be easy.
You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess she thought you needed some backup. But she sent a child? What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you understand. We never know who to trust in this town.
Mr. Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So, it turns out we're both here too.
Beck twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
Destroy the evidence.
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old gal is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her, though. If anyone were to find out that we're going to destroy the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up down here.
Beck was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
You sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good. There's one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing, really. The other day I had the radio on scan while we're stocking the candy shelf. Wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in a perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So we have a password and nowhere to put it? It's gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work that out. I've got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that?
Sure did. This whole time Mr. Tolliver's had a candy shelf, but all he ever sells us is apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password, Rollo.
Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf.
Fine. In the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it seems.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried? Covered? Could it be cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies. So U would be 21. N would be 14. D would be...
Oh, it's an anagram. Nuncrete's drugstore.
Luca and Beck looked at Rollo with amazement.
Rollo, that was incredible.
Well, it's either that or Krent's new drugstore.
Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How did you do that?
What can I say? I love ciphers.
Well, I guess we know where to go next. Yeah, it gives us saves us the trouble of trying to find that out. Investigate Nuncrete's drugstore. Here we go! Classic JRPG style! 3 in a row. What is this, Final Fantasy VIII? Oh, right, Mrs. Fratelli. Can we talk to her? I guess it's not gonna blow our cover, right? Huh! You scared me half to death! Sorry. Kids haven't seen Mr. Tolvo around, have you? Nope. Got me waiting around like a last slice of pie. I swear that man would be late to his own funeral. Go on a second. I'm just going to go back a little bit. See if you can find anything else. Let's see. Can we go back in the house? We better get to Nuncrete's. Okay, nope. Gonna block me there. Okay. Okay, that was interesting. We haven't done the fishing game in a bit. Let's see if there's anything more we can do. So you've got 6, 7 of them already, so maybe we have some more. Let's see, we did Pungent. Okay, the only other one we have right now is Crooked.
Luca tied a bent nail onto the line. If all you have is a hammer...
Well, I mean, the rest of that phrase is that, if all you have is a hammer, then everything you see is a nail. But I don't quite... I mean, I guess it kind of works. Anyway. Ah, it is a picture. A picture. It's a photo of you and Uncle Joseph.
Let me see that. Huh. Look at those 2 young fools.
How'd I end up at the bottom of the pond?
Who can say? Some things are just hard to explain.
I miss Uncle Joseph. How come he doesn't come fishing with us anymore? That's Nuncrete.
He's busy with his new job at Valentine's.
What's a new job got to do with him fishing with us?
It's complicated. Like I said, some things are hard to explain. Well, that's quite a haul. Feels like a good time to pack up.
Oh, just a little bit longer.
If things lasted forever, they might not feel as special, huh?
I guess.
I'll make you a deal, Buckaroo. If you ever feel like you need to talk, about anything at all, you just say, let's go fishing, and I'll know what you mean.
Like a secret password?
Yep, top secret.
Neat. Ah, okay. So, that's probably the end of the little fishing game there. Right, moving on. To Nuncrete's! To the creepy old dog man! Hopefully it will not be so creepy. Oh! You're late, Augustus.
Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work.
Work? You?
I had a few more details to lock down for the festival.
Oh? What do you have to report? What is this Insipid Town Festival really about?
I think
Gus looked around nervously.
Mr. Kerr really just wants to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him.
I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town.
Was.
Excuse me?
This was our father's town. He's gone, Eris, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help.
We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground.
That's just a temporary arrangement.
The glow can be seen from our damned backyard. They are dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When this all inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. This town is going to change, whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be a part of that future, or be forgotten in the past?
It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always just be a Gus.
Good night, Eris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow.
It's getting late, children. Your mansion's the other way, Eris? Where the hell do you think you're going? Okay. So Dawn isn't at the nightstand, because she's out doing her snooping. No! No! Can't do... Need to do the skill check. Mrs. Fratelli, why did you lock the restaurant? Ah! Wait, was she there the entire time? The things this woman must hear, and the things that she's more or less present to be witness to, but not paying attention because her nose is in the book. Knowledge, he spat with a sneer. There exists a gulf between knowing something and being able to do a damn thing about it. I do hate it when the villain makes a good point. Yeah, better get to Nuncreeds. Yeah, got a Rolo. Oh, but we can still go down here. Smack. Smack. Okay. Just doing a skill check. Check, 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 check. In the middle of the night, I go walking in my sleep. From the mountains of faith to a river so deep. Well, I was looking for something I don't know. But the river is wide, it's too hard to cross. I think I might have messed that song up. Sorry. I started off on a weird note, weird tone. Eh. Solomon?
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Oh gosh, ew. Nope, no thank you. Hey Solomon, we're looking for Mr. Nuncreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not.
Where'd you get the candy from?
You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Though we might not always have family to rely on. Licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice, but whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of confection. Oh, yeah, I guess.
I like sour gobs.
I'm certain you do. I always wondered why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold hard cash. Okay, that's cryptic there, Solomon. Well, he's right. It's locked.
There's gotta be more clues.
Okay, let's see. Library closed. Can't do anything there.
Jeff's hardware closed down. The effects
Jeff's
of
old
the there are no...
Jeff's old hardware store. Is that soda that's for 15 cents or is like some sort of medicine? Yeah, it's just gotta be around here somewhere. Of course, the phone booth is the only thing that comes up. So, have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing?
Besides Mr. Nuncreed, no.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
This is not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad?
Kren's new drugstore! I mean, Underground Secrets! The password!
Beck flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
Bit tight. All right, let's see here.
Luca cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground Secrets. Sounds like that did something.
Great. Now what?
I guess we...
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate.
They're about to become jammed themselves.
Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing.
Oh.
It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground.
Okay.
The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
Huh.
I knew it!
You knew that there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth?
Of course I did. Didn't I say that?
No.
I definitely thought it. Luca, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the trans-dimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue 12 were real?
Rollo, at one point or another, you've said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic.
That's why I'm such a good predictor.
It looks like each of these has something written on them. And we go look. Go look at them. See. Don't want to miss any other charms. This suit has a broken mask. So, have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit.
If it walks like a Nuncreed and talks like a Nuncreed.
Let's not jump to conclusions.
Just saying.
Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah.
Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place? This is starting to feel like something big.
Perennial Harvest main office. That's where my mom works.
What does she do?
Science stuff. Is she involved in all of this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here?
Not that I know of.
This town is all farms and fertilizer. And a series of tubes.
Pa always says you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold.
Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation.
That's the thing about Pa. You don't always realize what he means until it's too late.
That's a lot of buttons.
Stand aside, Earthlings. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi tech.
Rollo's hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny.
Rollo, what did you do?
Nothing! I didn't even mow yet! What was that?
Hide!
Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here!
Just get back!
Shit.
Shit. Shit.
don't need to come with me now.
We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers.
Mr. Underground Secrets? I told them it was an absurd password. But they love anything that makes them feel clever.
They who?
That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins.
We don't care about our skins.
Hold on now, I like my skin.
This all stops now, Nuncreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him.
Who?
Walt.
You don't get to talk about my dad.
You know, your father and I were friends back before
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
all of this.
That's a lie.
It's true. I used to bounce you on my knee.
What happened?
Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks.
So you were his sidekick?
No. We were partners. He helped the patients, and I helped him.
Yup, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luca, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He'd found something he didn't quite understand. He was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it.
And my dad said no.
Your father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then.
Classic sidekick into villain plotline.
Walt loved being righteous, almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone.
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes.
Is there a point to this sob story?
Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe.
Oh, here we go again. Here we go again.
I tried to keep you and Juniper out of this, but you forced my hand.
Luca began to laugh.
What?
You really don't know? My Gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose.
Juniper?
Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party.
She's gonna disrupt the festival? Why would she?
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know?
Apparently she knows a lot of things.
What?
Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we've busted into today.
And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luca by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with. Tell me now! She's in danger, boy!
I don't know! She had a map with a mark on the fountain in town square.
The fountain? But why would...
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source?
What the heck is the source?
If she tries to destroy the source, it could catalyze it. Dear God, she's going to freeze us all! You all need to run.
Run where?
Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back.
That did not go how I expected.
So... we're totally following him, right?
Totally.
See you on the other side.
You good? Yep. I love this town.
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard Truth.